This is Indonesia, a land of immeasurable diversity, a land that offers vast opportunities. This is the nexus of hopes and aspirations from across the archipelago.
Bersama, kami berikan kontribusi nyata lewat inovasi, karya cipta, dan pencapaian lain sesuai bidang ilmu. Dari UI, untuk Indonesia yang toleran, unggul, dan bermartabat.
Welcome to Universitas Indonesia. Since our beginnings, Universitas Indonesia has been continually evolving and building upon our achievements. We have become the biggest, best, and leading university in Indonesia and also Asia. Here at Universitas Indonesia, the best and brightest from across the region come to study. From diverse backgrounds, we build an intellectual community that enriches and enhances humanity. For superior generations, Universitas Indonesia provides world-class learning facilities. We implement state-of-the-art technology for research and industrial development. Our campus is accessible to all, also to the disabled. This is our commitment for realizing an inclusive educational environment. Universitas Indonesia is fully supported by environmentally friendly transportation and sustainable energy systems. We take pride in being a green and sustainable campus. Universitas Indonesia partners with relevant stakeholders to facilitate and provide ease of comfort for day-to-day activities for all our academic community. We recognize that each individual is unique, with unique talents and interests. As such, Universitas Indonesia provides opportunities for every individual to develop themselves to their fullest. Universitas Indonesia provides and fully supports students with great facilities and activities so that students are able to develop and grow to become their best. Together, we embrace our diversity to grow the future together. For Indonesia, for the world. Universitas Indonesia. Unity in diversity. Universitas Indonesia. Veritas, Probitas, Justisia.
Asia, with its vast and steady growth, has turned itself into the leader of global economy. Indonesia, with its strategic position, has the chance to take the major role in this era. In order to build global partnerships and counteract the threats strategic policies should be taken. To enhance the nation's competitive advantage, further approach through in-depth, comprehensive studies and researches are crucial. With our long history, has proved ourselves to be a reliable academic institution. After successfully adapting into distinct programs, in 2016, officially the program turned into School of Strategic and Global Studies. School of Strategic and Global Studies Universitas Indonesia contributes the cause by producing qualified human resources and studies. Situated in the heart of Jakarta, the School of Strategic and Global Studies provides a variety of courses on multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary studies at the master's levels.
In my humble opinion, I can say that I have a good impression at the first sight. An atmosphere and ambience here support us to gain more and achieve more other than merely classes and handouts.
I think that is a very promising because of the multidisciplinary approach that Universitas Indonesia offers us to study. For another reason, the situation that I actually got in the classes is a lot of interesting current issues that we're talking about, so it's academically fulfilling for me.
With dedicated and qualified lecturers from academic and practical background, School of Strategic and Global Studies Universitas Indonesia produce scholars and practitioners that will ready for global challenges. Together, we build the nation for a better world.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon from Jakarta, Indonesia, and good morning and evening to some of you in other countries. Welcome to SMART GREEN CAMPAIGN 2021. Let's be a part of a more sustainable world. This campaign is jointly organized by Universitas Indonesia and UCSI University and collaborated with North Minahasa and Depok local municipalities, Ecoton, Aliansi Zero Waste Indonesia, Urban Development Studies Student Alliance, Center of Spatial Data Analysis SSGS Universitas Indonesia, ICIM and IET Student Chapter UCSI University. We proudly present this campaign to sharing an intellectual discussion on smart green best practice among academics, policymakers, and NGOs to the online societies in two countries, Indonesia and Malaysia. Thank you to all participants and audience to join this significant program. I am Victorina Arif. It is a great honor for me to be the master of ceremony of this event. We are pleased to inform you that among us here, we have excellencies, Ator Subroto, PhD, Director of SSGS Universitas Indonesia. Dr. Eva Akhjani Zulfa, Vice Director of SSGS Universitas Indonesia. Dr. Lin Yola, Manager of Smart Green Campaign 2021. And today we are grateful to have the honorable speakers, John G.E. Ganda S.E., Regent of North Minahasa, Indonesia, IR.H. Imam Budi Hartono, Vice Mayor of Depok, Indonesia, Dr. Teng Ka Ho, Low Carbon Innovation Hub, UCSI University Malaysia, Norani Abu Bakar, Executive Director SDGs, UCSI University Malaysia, Daru Setiorini, SSI MSI Ikoton, Indonesia. We are also pleased to welcome the Student Smart Green Ambassadors, Diah Nawang Ratnasari, student of SSGS Universitas Indonesia and Chairman of Jakarta Education Commission. Lee Yen Ying, Chairman of ICEAM Student Chapter and Vice Chairman of IET Student Chapter, UCSI University Malaysia. We also have a participating institution, UCSI International School Kuala Lumpur, School of Pelita Harapan Jakarta, SMA Binus International Jakarta, SMA Raffles Jakarta, SMAN 70 Bulungan Jakarta, SMNU MH Tamrin Jakarta, and SMA Mentari Jakarta. We want to inform you that today we will have a sharing session, discussion forum, interactive forum, fun games, and also door prize. We invite all participants and audience to take part in the quiz and win the grand prize, which will be announced at the end of the event. You can answer the questions at the link that will be posted on the chat box. So IC team, can you please share the screen of the question? And these are the questions for the grand prize. The first one is, what is the best tagline you could recommend for the next Smart Green Campaign 2022? And the second one is, what is your super idea of what next after the Smart Green Campaign 2021? You can answer this question at the link that will be posted on the chat box. And as for the interactive games, we will be using Kahoot that can be accessed through browser or apps, and we invite everyone to join these exciting prizes. And please use your nickname and also the affiliation to join the games. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, as the host of the event, now we will have the national anthem of Indonesia. Full salutation. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, as the host of the event, now we will have the national anthem of Malaysia. Full salutation. Now we will have a welcoming speech from the manager of SMART GREEN CAMPAIGN 2021, Dr. Lin Yola. Please welcome Dr. Lin.
Thank you very much, Victorina. Excellencies, distinguished speakers, honorable guests, respected participants, ladies and gentlemen. Very good afternoon. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Peace and prosperity be upon us all. Welcome to the SMART GREEN Campaign 2021. I'm Dr. Lin Yola. I'm greatly honored to have this opportunity to chair this event. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, climate change is real. The world faces the two-pronged battle to halt global warming and address the effects of the climate change. Thus, we are facing the challenge of achieving the best alternative to mitigating and adapting to this global issue. Mitigation effort requires measures to address the underlying problem by showing or stopping rise in energy use and emissions intensity. Adaptations is urged to help societies and policymakers withstand and minimize the ravages of the climate change. School of Strategic and Global Studies, Universitas Indonesia, stands with its commitment to be part of the academically seeking strategic solutions for global issues, including the environmental enclosure. We continuously elevate the meaningful involvement in ecological concern with respect to the development, implementations, and enforcement of the environmental regulations and policies. Besides our GREEN UI green metric, we have chaired a range of the green initiatives, including the academic and research development and community engagement. Last year, we had conducted some moves on the Go Green CSR with the local neighborhoods and the NGOs. This year, we initiate this SMART GREEN Campaign 2021 that aims to report the environmental news that inspires wider communities to take actions. The campaign offers sharing and intellectual discussions on the smart green sharing and best practice among the academics, policymakers, and NGOs to the online societies in two countries, Indonesia and Malaysia. In implementing smart green missions in spreading the environmental care message, collaboration is the key. Today, we are honored to have 18 bodies and institutions from university campuses, international schools, local authorities, and NGOs joining us in this event in both Zoom and YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, the agent of change. Today, we have this event. We are also launching significant move for the next year, eSmart Green. It is a virtual platform hosted by SSGS UI to share the Smart Green initiative, practices, and campaign among the international online societies, includes academics, policymakers, NGOs, and public. I would like to close this message with a round of gratitude for everyone and institutions who has made this event possible. Our director and vice director, whom always initiates and support all international innovations and development in our school and campus. To our co-host organizer, UCSI University Malaysia, that also will share their academic and professional practices on low carbon SDGs. Our collaborators, local municipalities of North Minahasa and Depok, Indonesia, whom will also share their best practices on smart green move in the local government and societies level. Ikoton Azwi Indonesia, that also will share their eco campaign on zero waste from the NGO perspective of view. And all participating bodies and institutions, university campus, schools, and NGOs, and of course, the IC Technical Committee. The accomplished success of this joint international CSR is all yours. I sincerely hope that you will enjoy today's event. And of course, we look forward to continuing this journey with you in the Smart Green Campaign 2022 and the e-Smart Green platform. I thank you. Very good afternoon. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Dr. Linyola, for the remarkable speech. Moving on to our next agenda, welcoming remarks of Smart Green Campaign 2021 from the Director of School of Strategies and Global Studies, Universitas Indonesia, Bapak Ator Subroto, PhD. Please, Bapak Ator, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Ms. Victorina Arif, for your introduction short for me. Honorable guests, especially honorable speakers. Here we have so many speakers from region of North Minahasa, Indonesia, Juni Ganda Sarjana Ekonomi, and also Vice Major of Depok, Indonesia, Insinyur Haji Imam Budi Hartono, and also our honorable speaker from UCSI University Malaysia, Dr. Teng Kahu, and also Ibu Norani Abu Bakar, Executive Director, SDGs, UCSI University Malaysia, and also Darus Setiorini, SSI MSI, Ekoton Indonesia, and also Dr. Linyola as our manager of Smart Green Campaign 2021. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon all. And first of all, thanks to Allah, and let's say Alhamdulillah, since we are still able to meet here in the virtual room, although in this situation out there is still very hard because of the pandemic. I am, on behalf of the School of Strategic and Global Studies, or SSGS, Universitas Indonesia, very pleased and honored to have you all here for this event. This international event took theme of Smart Green Campaign 2021 is a CSR virtual campaign initiated by SSGS, Universitas Indonesia, and also together with UCSI University Malaysia. I believe this event will give all participants kind of a great discussion on the current situation about our environment anomalies, actually. Like we can see anomalies in our weather right now, our temperature, and so many other anomalies in terms of our environment. From those anomalies, now we can feel, I think, experience the change in our climate, and thus it is now become a real threat. However, it seems that our effort together between academicians, government, and other parties, I think are still not enough. Thus, at least SSGS will continuously support this kind of campaign to at least make our awareness on this climate change is on the rise and will, I believe, have a real impact in the end. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, the School of Strategic and Global Studies, with its significant role as a postgraduate school in Indonesia, has strategic position in achieving this target. Therefore, SSGS UI, with its multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary scientific approach, keep developing excellent research and innovation at the national or international level. As for from postgraduate school, SSGS University Indonesia highly concerned on this strategic and global commitment related to the sustainable development policies and implementation to combating global climate change. With this year, SSGS UI with UCSI University Malaysia initiate a CSR SMART GREEN CAMPAIGN as this event aiming to help the planet at a time by promoting the environmental initiative and message that inspires wider communities to take ground action. The campaign offers sharing the discussion on the smart green best practices among academics and academics in two countries, at least in Indonesia and Malaysia. Besides promoting the smart green concept and campaign, we also officiating the e-smart that will be operating next year. It is virtual platform hosted by SSGS UI to share the smart green initiative, practices, and campaign among the international online societies, including academics, policymakers, NGOs, and public, of course. We hope with this event could continue this journey to put our concern on the global environment, care, and protection. I would like to express my high appreciation to UCSI University as the co-host, collaborators like North Minahasa Municipality and Depok Municipality, Ekoton, and all participating bodies and institutions. We are honored to have you today. Hope everyone is taking home a fruitful green insight and ideas. With this, I officially open this Smart Green Campaign 2021 and e-Smart Green platform. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Bapak Ator, for the remarkable remarks. Before we moving on to our next agenda, let us watch short videos from the organizers. Ladies and gentlemen, moving on to our next agenda, we will have a first exciting game, and the questions are about smart green and SDGs. To give a brief introduction regarding our today's event, we will be using Kahoot, and you are pleased to use browser or application to join the game. And IC team, please share the website link in the chat box. And the question will be shared in the Zoom, so you can either use your other browsers or in your laptop or other devices. Please use your first name and affiliation so the committee can track the winner for the winning prize. And the prizes are proudly presented by our organizers and collaborators. Thank you to the organizers and collaborators. We encourage everyone to join the game. So everyone, and IT team, can you please share the screen? Okay, so this is the game pin. You can insert the pin, and the pin is 3249494. Please give also your affiliation if you can, either where you come from, SMA or your university. Okay. Okay, we'll be waiting for another minute to everyone to join. Okay. We now have 15 participants. Okay. We'll be started in another 15 seconds. So for everyone who hasn't joined the Kahoot, you can please join it now. And the game pin is 3249494. Three, 2, 4, 9, 4, 9, 4. Okay. Okay, I think we can start the game now. IC team, are you? Okay, everyone ready? Let's start our first game. About Smart Green Campaign 2021 quiz. Okay, so the first question, what is the environmental global issue behind the idea of going sustainable? Is it pandemic, natural disaster, global warming, or pollutions? Okay, 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. And the answer is global warming. There are 25 people answered correctly. Okay. And the first is Pewe. Okay, I don't know where it come from. Congratulations, Pewe, for as the scoreboard. And the next question. What are 3 pillars of sustainability concept? Green, smart, resilience, economy, society, environment, economy, ecology, society, or community development, resilience. What are 3 pillars of sustainability concept? We have 5 more seconds. Okay, and the answer is economy, society, environment. There are 15 participants answer correctly. We can see the scoreboard now. Okay, we have Akamer, Omar, UCSI, Sundus, UCSI. Okay, we still have another questions, no worries. The third question, what is SDGs stand for? Is it Sustainable Development Global, Sustainability Development Goal, Sustainable Development Goal, or Sustainable Development Goals? Kind of tricky, what are tricky questions here? SDGs. Okay. Watch out for the other S here. A bit of a hint. And the answer is Sustainable Development Goals. There are still 12 participants that answered wrong, but it's okay. We still have another questions. You can see the scoreboard. Okay, now we have Ratu, Nurlita, Aiza, and Livia. Okay, the next questions. How many goals were set for SDGs? 3 goals, 8 goals, 10 goals, or 17 goals? Five more seconds. Goals for SDGs. And the answer is 17 goals. So SDGs have 17 goals. Have 24 people already answered correctly. Oh, upcomer now, Aiza from UCSI. Okay, next question. The fifth question, what is SMART GREEN CAMPAIGN 2021? CSR Movement for Living Smartly and Sustainably, CSR Movement for Going Green, CSR Movement for Environmental Friendly Lifestyle, or CSR Movement for Living Intelligent. Okay. Have another 3 seconds. And the answer is CSR Movement for Living Smartly and Sustainably. And the scoreboard now, oh, changed. Ratu Nurlita now is leading the scoreboard. Okay, another 4, we still have like 4 questions. Yeah. What is Objective SMART GREEN CAMPAIGN? Introducing Go Green and Smart City concept, achieving the SDGs, supporting the low carbon and responsive community, or all of the above? I hope you don't see it as a test yet. Here is just one warming up introductions. Okay, and the answer is all of the above. Most of you has answered correctly. And the scoreboard, Ratu Nurlita is still leading the scoreboard. Okay, next question. What is the tagline of the SMART GREEN CAMPAIGN 2021? This is actually something that I have said earlier. Smart Green now, living smartly and sustainably, Smart Green for better tomorrow, or let's be part of a more sustainable world. What is the tagline of today's event? Okay, and the answer is let's be a part of a more sustainable world. Okay, no worries. We still have another questions. Oh, now it's leading Alika. State the organizers and collaborators of SMART GREEN CAMPAIGN 2021. The organizers and our collaborators. Is it SSGI UI and UCSI University, Minahasa Utara Municipal Council and Depok Municipal Council, Aliansi Zero Waste Indonesia and Ekoton, or all of the above? The hints I actually said it earlier also. Okay, and the answer is all of the above. And we see the scoreboard. Now, Ratu Nurlita again. Okay, this next questions. Who are the actor of the Smart Green Campaign 2021? Academic actors, policymakers, NGO, or all of the above? And the answer is all of the above. As you can see, our speakers is from academics, from NGOs, for the local authorities. And, yeah, and Ratu Nurlita is still leading the game. And the last question for this first game: who is not speakers of Smart Green Campaign 2021? Policymakers, academics and researchers, Green Campaign consultant, or NGO activists? And the answer is Green Campaign consultant. No worries. Okay, let's see who win to this first game. And the third place is Dia. The second place is Vina from UCSI. And the first place goes to Ratu Nurlita. Wow, what an exciting warm-up game we have today, okay? And congratulations to the winners. You'll be given a green shopping vouchers, and the IC team will contact you for more information after this. And for those who haven't win now, no worries, we'll have another game soon. So, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we are now approaching the sharing session, discussion, and interactive forum. Let me pass this session to our today's respected moderator, Dr. Lynn Yola. Without further ado, let us welcome Dr. Lynn. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Victorina. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Here again, I'm Dr. Lynn Yola. I will chair and moderating the sharing sessions by our honorable speakers today. Today we have 5 speakers and two students ambassadors. Today our CSR campaign, Smart Green 2021 campaign, with the topic or the theme of let's be part of for more sustainable world. The speakers will discuss about how the smart green concept is implemented in multi-layers actors. The first one we have from the academics education's platform. We welcome our speakers from UCSI University. I think they are going to share about the SDG concept and as well as the concept of the low carbon cities. And the next one, we are also very honored to welcome our policymakers. In this context, we have the region of the North Minahasa, Indonesia, and Vice Mayor of Depok, Indonesia, that will also share the policies and the projects that they already implemented in their local authorities and societies. And as well as we are also proud to have the active sharing from Ecoton Indonesia that will also share the movement that has been done by Ecoton about the zero waste campaign in Indonesia. And of course, we also welcome our students ambassadors from SSGS Universitas Indonesia, as well as from the chairman of ISMI students chapter from UCSI University, that will also share their projects and practices on the smart green in their campus and international schools. So these sessions is going to be divided into 3. The first one is going to be for the sharing by 2 speakers, and we will have a break in between. Then we'll continue with the sharing by 3 speakers, and after that we will have the discussion forum and the interactive forum that We also invite all of the audience and participants to drop the questions or your concerns in the chat box for us to share and discuss today. So without further ado, let me invite our first honorable speaker, Ms. Norani Abu Bakar from UCSI University. Let me introduce Ms. Norani that with her very long CV here. She is currently the Executive Director of the UCSI Group, UN Sustainable Development Goals Secretariat Office. She's also the Strategic Advisor for UCSI Living Lab, the company that advocates sustainable lifestyle and food security. She's also the founder of the Blue Ribbon Global, and so on so far. I think it's very long here. She's also working closely with the potato production Singapore, and she's also the ASEAN Director for Pathway for Mutual Respect NGO in the USA and Secretary for the Center for Peace and Unity Educations Malaysia. Let me stop there. I think it's very long CV. Let me invite Ms. Norani to share her very positive insight on the SDGs concept and as well as the practice in UCSI specifically and Malaysia maybe generally. Please, Ms. Norani.
Thank you very much, our dear Dr. Lim Yola, the moderator and manager for the Smart Green campaign. First of all, greetings from UCSI community to all that are here today, and thank you so much, Dr. Author Subroto, the director of SSGS, the Vice Director, the Excellencies, and all the speakers, guest speakers, and my colleagues from Malaysia, and students, and two ambassadors, Lee Yen Yin and Daya, that will be sharing later too. So thank you so much for this introduction and your patience to go through my CV, which is not so important. But anyway, so I'm going to share screen right now. I understood that I have about 10 minutes, so I do hope to quickly go through the presentation. And the Kahoot game just now start introducing on quite a bit on SDGs. So what I would like to now bring your attention to are the targets and indicators. As we all know that there are 17 goals, but each goal actually has a few targets, and each targets have a few indicators, and we can only work on our achievement in SDGs if we can measure where we are. And but why there's this global movement towards 2030, and I think that is something that I'm really excited about, because we are really working together to address the pressing needs that are in this planet today. And that pressing needs is basically to ensure that no one is left behind. So these goals and targets and indicators are something that I believe need to be introduced and to go in depth when we come to the UN SDGs. Now, I'm going to just walk through very quickly about the targets and indicators. Is some examples. I'm not sure whether you're aware or not, but often when I do presentation on SDGs, these are the two areas that most people are still not aware of. And let's come back to the topic that I am invited to speak about, the UN SDGs for scholars and societies. So when I think about societies, all the multi-layers of the societies, you can see those are from self up to the global community members are part of our societies. And when we talk about scholars are indeed part of our societies. And in your reference, their invitation, the actors could be scholars. There's a list of actors, and likewise, the scholars can be also actors. So today, I'm going to share a little bit about what UCSI have done in order for us to be able to reach out to the scholars and to the societies. But before that, I want to share with you two fundamental values that I always hold on, that education or learning is really about life-changing moments. about transformation. And that's the actual outcome of our learning. And that if we want to go fast, we can go alone. But here is an example of this launching of the SMART Green Campaign, a green campaign that if we want to go far, we really have to go together. So it's a blessing to meet all of you today, that we are here indeed together to work for the betterment of our planet. Now, coming back to the UCSI context, I think at every university, the progression of the implementation of SDGs will certainly go from the awareness to the comprehension, the short-term action, and then the long-term commitment. At UCSI, initially at the university level, we started with the internal awareness quiz, a formative assessment that helped all the participants to build their knowledge. And then we bring this to the high school level. And now we work with the Malaysian Youth Council, the Junior Chamber International, a few other NGOs to bring this awareness program nationally. The questions are tweaked according to their organization and local context. But if you remember that when the last part, the commitment to go long-term for long-term and life-changing, that really requires a holistic transformation. So at UCSI, we partner with UNESCO and UNDP to advocate and to integrate education for sustainable development goals. This is very key for among the scholars, because when we talk about sustainability, we are not only talking about head knowledge, but it's holistic life transformation whereby we live what we learn. And for UN to bring forth the agenda of implementing targets and indicators that really address the pressing needs of the people whom we do not want to leave behind, the learning objectives for every goal must actually address the cognitive growth, the knowledge part, our emotional and social well-being, and the change of our lifestyle. So I would like to share, well, this is just one example. Remember I shared about the three areas, the head knowledge, and for the UN implementation of education for sustainable development, UNESCO actually developed these learning objectives and encourage all universities and high schools to adopt these learning objectives. So this one example for the cognitive, for the social-emotional learning objectives, and behavioral learning objectives. For every goal, there are 15 learning objectives that are proposed for every domain, the mind and the head, the heart, and the hands. Now, as I mentioned that it is such a joy to be here today, though I cannot go to Indonesia. I love to travel to Indonesia, but we can't do that right now. But virtually, this global network is actually supported through United Nations University. So UCSI joined this global network that advocates and integrate education for sustainable development. And you can see that they are available in all regions. And in Indonesia, there are 3 RCEs in Bogor, East Kalimantan, and Yogyakarta. Each RCE is hosted by a secretariat office. At UCSI, we are very happy that United Nations University acknowledged 2 centers. One is hosted by the university in Kuching, and the other one in Kuala Lumpur called RCE Greater Kuala Lumpur. So for Kuching in Sabah Sarawak, this is the only center for education of sustainable development that has been acknowledged by United Nations University. So we do learn a lot from one another on best practices in advocating different projects and partnership. Okay, so I'm going to end my sharing today with a case study on what we have done, and I do hope that this will be perhaps something to be considered by the audience. This is how we decided to set up or apply for Regional Center of Expertise on Education for Sustainable Development in Kuala Lumpur. The problem statements, so the 2 areas that we wanted to address in 2019 were the limited access to education for forced migrants and the climate and food security. Now, just to give you a quick brief background on forced migrants in Malaysia, the International Migration Organization reported that by the end of 2018, there were around 2 to 4 million of undocumented migrants. That's many for a small country, Malaysia, and many of them congregate in the cities. So you can imagine Kuala Lumpur just being very small, but having so many Malaysians of diverse background and also neighbors from countries, some had to go through difficulties to flee from their countries because of the persecution and difficulties there. So if we look at Malaysia's performance in 2019 for the SDG scorecard, so if we're looking at the society's engagement, it is important to see the national performance, and you can see this scorecard published every year. I'm looking at 2019 because this was our reference for the RCE GKL formation. And you can see the education is in green. That means performance is not so bad. Challenges remain, but some improvement. Climate action is in red. That means major challenges. And for peace and justice, information unavailable. So we're looking about the human rights of forced migrants, of our neighbors that come to Malaysia. We do not have access to the information. So here again, I'm showing to you, there's a bit of improvement in the SDG achievement in quality education, but yet millions of young forced migrants could not go to the school. This is truly sad. I've watched some of them crying with their school uniform, and there is no space for them at the refugee learning centers. So we can celebrate results, but underlying there are areas that it's not even reported that we have to work on. So how do we try to work hard for this during this climate, especially during pandemic when food security is a problem? First, Malaysians alone, we have to create awareness. We waste about 3,000 tons daily, and that can feed 2.2 million people. And of course, that also releases a lot of the green carbon gases from all the waste that have gone to the landfill. So through the RCE Greater Kuala Lumpur, this case study is focusing on UCSI Living Lab, a project by UCSI University and the RCE Greater Kuala Lumpur partners. So as you recall, our heart is to remember those who cannot go to school and all the low-income members of the society that lost their job during pandemic. So through the close working with the refugees and UCSI community, we actually started a residential program where our young refugees, mainly teens, stayed together in UCSI Living Lab property for 3 months. We planted together, they learned on taking pictures, editing, and doing the back end of the website. And through that, a company was established, and it is called UCSI Living Lab. And as you can see, this website, if you click at the pictures, all of that were done actually by young refugees. They are at the average age of 17. So we do believe that if we really want to advocate for global 2030 agenda, we have to go beyond being sustainable. We need to be able to regenerate socially, where people whom we think are not able to contribute much are being invited, their capacity is being leveraged so that together we can make it happen. So for this case study, we apply permaculture concept where we mimic the environment, we learn from the environment and adopt its ethics on care for people, care for planet, and fair share. Ethics is very important, and for the engagement or transformation, transformative education, the head, the heart, and the hands, this is the progression that we work on, whereby all the young people that have been involved, regardless of their background, come together and volunteer, because only through contribution together, we can really sweat, laugh, celebrate, cry, and through that, we celebrate humanity. So I'm going to end my sharing today. Thank you so much about the outcome of transformed lives through this case study, this little project. And from the team, young refugees, average age 17 years old. Now we have been adopted by UCSI schools and many other bodies. And I'm going to show you a video whereby what was started during the pandemic by a few young people now is upscaled and escalated at the national level. So this Saturday, we're going to celebrate World Soil Day, which actually takes place annually on the 5th. But we were gonna do that a day earlier. So thank you for all those that attend this, my sharing, and for the young people that may be here watching this video. Let me just make sure that I have my audio. Thank you very much again. And I look forward for this online campaign to work together, to share best practices, and to encourage one another, because the journey is still very long. Thank you, Dr. Lin Yola, for inviting me.
Thank you very much, Ms. Nurani. I think, yeah, we are really honored to have you today with all of your commitment that with your busy schedules, you still very kind to accept our invitations to share your programs, initiatives from your side there. And I take notes here that the transformative education is really a stealing idea, I think, for us to not to stick to the very common idea of educations, but we can also move with those green initiatives and so on so far, and as well as celebrating the humanities. I think is a very good idea also for us later to share with our SMART Green online platform. So we don't only just share about the news and idea among ourselves, but also from our brothers and sisters from other part of the world. Thank you very much, Ms. Nurani. And next, let's welcome our next speaker, Dr. Teng Kahau. He's also from UCSI University. Yes, Dr. Teng Kahau.
Good afternoon, sir. Can you hear me?
Hey, yes, we can hear.
Okay,
we can hear you clearly. And let me introduce Dr. Teng Kahau. He's a lecturer in the Department of Mechanical Engineering in UCSI University Malaysia. He's also the Committee for Low Carbon Innovation Hub. And his research interest is mainly on the innovations, thermoelectric generator and sustainable energy. And his academic background is on mechanical engineering, heat transfer, and manufacturing engineering mechanical. And I think today, Dr. Teng Kahau is going to share about his idea on the low carbon city, because his center, I think, is mainly talking about that. So please, Dr. Teng Kahau, 10 minutes is yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Lin Yola, for inviting me for the sharing sessions. So a very good afternoon to all the committee members, all the excellents, ladies and gentlemen, and of course the SSGC directors. Right. So for today, I'm going to share what we have established in UCSI, so-called the UCSI Cheras Low Carbon Innovation Hub, a Smart City Research Consortium. So please allow me to share my screen right now. Can you see my screen?
Yes, if you could have to make it in
full
view.
screen. Yeah.
Yes, please.
Okay, great.
Yes, please.
So yeah, this is a center we have recently formed in the UCSI, and we call it the Smart City Research Consortium, because we are not only work within UCSI, but we work across the world with different partners, different industrial stakeholders, as well as government agencies to make an initiative towards low carbons. And thanks for our colleagues, Rolani, to explain the SDG just now, in where these centers form. In fact, it's one of the catalysts to drive the SDG in UCSI. So maybe before that, let me to share where is UCSI about. I think some of our audience here might don't know where is UCSI. In fact, UCSI, we are the one of the best private university in Malaysia, located in Cheras, which is the city center of Kuala Lumpur. And that's why our centers, our research consortium, mean UCSI Cheras Low Carbon Innovation Hub. Because as shared by Ronani just now, we're aware there's a lot of challenges, but somehow we need to start from somewhere to initiate the idea towards low carbons. So first of all, let me to introduce you what is low carbons. In fact, the low carbon idea is very simple. As we all aware, nowadays a lot of carbon dioxide emissions through your transportation, through your buildings. There's a lot of impacts towards our environment. And that's why these low carbon ideas come into the way that we need to do some things to reduce the carbon footprints. And hence, throughout the world, there's developed a lot of different strategies from the Western until Asia, until Middle East. We come across agreements that we want to have some strategies to reduce the low carbons throughout the world. And hence, the SDG is one of the initiatives that can drive us to reduce the low carbons, as well as the UK that have made a commitment to comply with the UK Low Carbon Transition Plan in 2010, and they commit to reduce the net zero carbon emissions 2050 in the upcoming 2050. Hence, in Malaysia, we took part and we contribute to this kind of initiative towards our Malaysia LCC plans, which is low carbon city plans 2030, to make sure we comply with the very low emission of low carbon of the carbon dioxide. And here is some ideas. Why do we need to go for low carbon? As I think everyone aware that climate change is already happening around us since for the last 10 to 20 years. And this climate change brings a very huge impact to our cities, our lifestyle. And every year there's a temperature rise throughout the world, which can up to 60 degrees Celsius, which they will lead to a lot of meltings at the end of our world, and there's causing a lot of floodings across the world, as well as there's food shortage, and there's a lot of impact towards our plantation, etc. That's why we need to take a very immediate actions and to drive and work together to a more sustainable and prosperous futures. And you can see from the graph from here, global fossils of CO2 emission by the sectors. You can see the power industrials, the transportation, as well as the buildings. They contribute significance of the carbon dioxide emissions in the world. Hence, as academics, we link up with a lot of different expertise, come with some ideas how to reduce these carbon emissions into a more sustainable development. And of course, as I mentioned, there's a lot of challenge when we try to implement these kind of ideas. And you can see that due to the carbon emissions, there's a lot of global temperature rise, and there's a lot of floodings, global instability, public health issue related to the death and heat wave. And hence, we need to take immediate actions. And you can see there's still a big population of humans live in very hard times to get clean waters as well as sufficient foods. Hence, we come across these ideas to kickstart a small step within UCSI and hopefully create more awareness throughout the world, and we drive together the same directions. And as I mentioned, the biggest challenge so far we have, of course, if all this is very successful, you can bring a lot of celebration, as Ms. Raini shared just now, across the world. However, at a very baby steps, we need to make sure our community have this kind of ideas and they do accept this kind of mentality grow within their community. We need the community to buy in to make sure we can drive this together. This is not a one-man show's efforts by only a government, by only our education institution. I don't think this one can be very successful, but we need the community support. We need the residents to join us, to work together to make sure the activity we plan in work align with the low carbon initiative. And hence, we formed this UCSI Cheras Low Carbons. And of course, our biggest mission is to contribute towards a greener, better Kuala Lumpur, a KL Low Carbon Society Blueprint 2030. In where I mentioned that because UCSI located in the city center of low carbons. So our vision is to hope that our baby steps start to grow in Kuala Lumpur and eventually throughout the nation, and of course at the end is the international agenda. And what we are going to do is to support the reduced carbon footprint strategy in the global agenda. And we try to embrace a lot of knowledge transfer, which is the key things. We need to educate, we need to raise awareness amongst the public that's how important of this low carbon initiative. And we embrace the community care, of course, definitely the SDG, Sustainable Development Goals, and of course, finally, the green economics. And just to share is that at this moment, we have different partners which join our initiative, which our UCSI take the leads to coordinate these UCSI Cerdas Low Carbons. We cooperate with UK Liverpool John Moores University. We cooperate with University of Malaysia, which is a top university in Malaysia. We cooperate with UTP, which is one of the University Technology Petronas on the oil and gas industrial. And more importantly, we do involve one of the Green Tax Malaysia, which is one of the environmental agency. And we also work closely with the DPKL, which is our local authorities in the Kuala Lumpur. And we try to strategize how we can go forward to bring impacts within our Kuala Lumpur first and eventually to other states so far and so on. And more importantly, of course, we do involve our student chapters, which is the UCSI IET, IEM, all the students, engineering, society to contribute towards the same direction, same goals. And here is some overview, what is our expertise, because as the academics, we do have a very strong research academic portfolio into a different direction. For example, nowadays they talk about IR 4.0, but we try to link this kind of research ideas towards low carbon contributions. By introducing the IR 4.0, we can effectively to manage the engineering productions in the factory, and eventually, once we reduce energy usage in the factory, eventually we can use a lot of green metrics to calculate and to evaluate and measure how effective our technology to contribute towards the low carbons. And of course, we cannot neglect the renewable energy in where we got the experts on the solar energy and also the wind energy and also hydro energy. And more important, we also have some technology to drive energy from waves. For example, one of the current activities we're running right now within the Cerdas community, we collect the waste cooking oil within the community, and we use the technology to turn them into a biodiesel. And this kind of initiative is very good to the environment, in the same time create a very sustainable economics towards the industry. And of course, environmental science, electronics, and all the chemicals come in place, especially like the carbon captures and carbon storage to reduce the carbon dioxide emissions. And just to share this here, we got a very strong support, as I mentioned, not only from the education institution, but also from the local authorities and governments. And you can see from here, in fact, in Malaysia, the governments to impose a green investment tax allowance and also something called the green income tax exemption, in where to encourage not only community, but also industrial stakeholders to drive the industry towards this direction. And of course, there are also a lot of something like subsidiary for 5-star energy rated appliance in Malaysia. That's why they can do more innovations and improvement in terms of electrical compliance design to make sure that their products comply with the 5-star ratings, so they can get some tax reductions to make their business to be more sustainable. And just to share in from our partners in UK, in fact, there are a lot of ongoing initiative planned by the governments to drive not only community, but also industrials to buy in to drive the initiative together. And here is some of the ideas which generally developing in our research consortium right now, which more to the research and development plans. That we try to engage more renewable energies directions towards the waste management. We try to come up with a lot of different ideas to recycling and reuse all the waste materials, waste energy, and reuse into the industrial plant to make sure the sustainable of the energy usage is optimal. Hence, we can reduce a lot of carbon dioxide emissions, and eventually we can go to a net zero carbon in 2050. And of course, in terms of lifestyle, we do come with some ideas to do some light links management. We come some ideas to do the air conditioning optimizations plans to make sure the energy usage is in the optimum point. Eventually, we can reduce the usage of fossil fuels energy, and hence we can contribute more effectively into the low carbon directions. And you can see from here around the world from 2020, if we're not going to take any actions right now, we are going to have a very severe impacts to our environment and of course to our world, which they will have a mass extinction of species, global instability in terms of the temperature rise, and very severe flooding throughout the world. So I'm here to share the knowledge and awareness that please make a move now to start to join us and to drive a better world and a better green world in the future. So here to share with you what is specific mitigation pathway of a greener, better Kuala Lumpur strategy plan. And as I mentioned, at this moment, due to our expertise we focus a lot on Action 4, the sustainable energy system, Action 5, community engagement and green lifestyle, more to the waste management and where we can contribute in the direction of economics. And here to share that this is what I mentioned just now, the roadmap strategy in Malaysia. We try to achieve a low carbon city, low carbon campus, low carbon companies, and also low carbon community by improve the energy shift, mobility shift, waste shift, water shift, and finally greenery shift. And in the last 2 months, Malaysia have organized a Malaysia Low Carbon Conference 2021. And you can see from here, it's not only it's now Malaysia's, we put a lot of efforts to drive the direction together. And you can see from here, it's not only in terms of activities, there's a lot of different agency and also policy stakeholder. They come with a lot of different low carbon city policy and implementation frameworks. And I'm here to highlight that, in fact, in Malaysia, we got 3 cities in very low carbon city direction, which is our Seri Iskandar, Malaysia, our Putrajaya, which turned the gardens to green city, as well as Wangsa Maju, which is one of the developments, one of the developed city into low carbon city at the moment. Yep, and I think here is some information I would like to share, and I welcome everyone who is interested to join us. Please feel free to drop me an email. We can have further thoughts on that, and we can drive and we can work some activities together. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Kahau. That was very insightful discussion just now. I can see that I have some notes that we still have some homeworks on implementing this concept of low carbon and smart cities initiatives, either from your side, and we also can learn from that. And I think, yeah, that's also the purpose of this event, that we are providing the platform to share our initiatives and projects on going green, living smart from all of the stakeholders, either from the academics, policymakers, NGOs, and even the public. So thank you very much, Dr. Kahau. And yeah, we move to our next speaker. We are going to move to the discussions and perspective from the policymakers. That today we are very honored and fortunate to have the region of the Minahasa Utara or North Minahasa, Indonesia, as well as from Vice Mayor of Depok, Indonesia. Both of them are going to share about the policies, the perspectives and initiatives that they already implemented in their local authorities. So before we welcome the two gentlemen, let's have the short video on what they already being implemented in their places. Please, committee.
Kabupaten Minahasa Utara merupakan salah satu dari 15 kabupaten kota yang ada di Provinsi Sulawesi Utara. Luas wilayah 1059,24 km persegi dan jumlah penduduk 224.993 jiwa. Kabupaten Minahasa Utara merupakan wilayah konservasi. Untuk itu, keseimbangan ekosistem harus dijaga, memelihara hutan dengan menanam pohon. Pemerintah juga mendukung Go Green Campaign sebagai upaya mitigasi dan adaptasi perubahan iklim melalui beberapa program. Salah satu program pemerintah, setiap pasangan yang ingin menikah di wilayah pemerintahan Minahasa Utara wajib untuk menanam 1 buah pohon. Selain itu, untuk mewujudkan Kabupaten Minahasa Utara yang lebih bersih, sehat, indah dan rapi, pemerintah mengeluarkan instruksi Bupati Minahasa Utara nomor 44 tahun 2021 tentang Gerakan Jaga Kebersihan Wilayah dan Lingkungan JGKWL dengan beberapa program seperti: pertama, Jumat pagi jaga kebersihan wilayah dan lingkungan, jumpa JGKWL. Kedua, jam operasional membuang sampah pukul 18.00 sampai 06.00 WITA. Ketiga, pengurangan sampah dari sumbernya melalui 3R. Dalam tim kebersihan juga terbentuk satu tim yang berjumlah 15 orang yang disebut dengan tim tanggap sampah daerah. Kabupaten Minahasa Utara juga menjalin kerjasama dengan PT Tirta Investama Air Madidi mengenai program Taman Kehati yang terletak di Kaki Dian dengan tujuan sebagai koleksi tumbuh-tumbuhan, sarana pendidikan, penelitian, pengembangan ilmu pengetahuan, dan ekowisata, ruang terbuka hijau, serta penembahan tutupan vegetasi. Adapun juga program mengenai Kampung Iklim yang merupakan salah satu program yang berlingkup nasional dalam rangka meningkatkan keterlibatan masyarakat untuk melakukan penguatan kapasitas adaptasi terhadap dampak perubahan iklim dan mitigasi di daerah Kabupaten Minahasa Utara. Nah, berbicara juga tentang efisiensi penggunaan energi dan air serta mendorong penggunaan renewable energy, di Kabupaten Minahasa Utara memiliki pembangkit listrik tenaga surya terbesar di Indonesia yang terletak di Likupang. Kiranya Kabupaten Minahasa Utara dapat memberikan kontribusi yang berarti bagi pencegahan terhadap efek global warming.
All right. That's it. The two short video that we already watched just now of the activities and programs that they have been done in the North Minahasa and Depok. So without further ado, let me invite Bapak John J. Ganda, the region of the North Minahasa. Hello, Bapak John.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes,
How are
Mr.
you?
Doctor. Yeah, fine, fine.
Thank you very much for accepting our invitations to share for today's
Yes.
campaign. Yeah, so let
Okay.
me call us your brief CV, which is actually not brief, it's very long here. Bapak Jom Ganda is the region
Yeah.
of the North Minahasa with his education background in economic, and his very long career on the industry and private players, and as well as I think in some area in the educations. He's also having the award from very long list as well from the Education Institution of Indonesia, youth associations, and so on so far. Let me don't call all of them because it's very long here.
Yeah.
But thank you very much for attending our event today, and let's welcome Bapak John Ganda for sharing his policies and the projects on the smart green initiatives in Minahasa Utara. And 10 minutes is yours. Please, Bapak
Okay.
John.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Lin Yola. Can share the slide?
Yes, please.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. The committee of the CSR virtual campaign, the honorable speakers and audience. I'm so grateful to have the opportunities to represent the people of Minahasa Utara, North Minahasa, which known as the land of waving coconut, land of the smiling people, where people from different race, ethnic, and religion are living in harmony. I'm Jono Ganda, the region of North Minahasa in North Sulawesi province, Indonesia. Next slide. Okay, I humbly present to you Minahasa Utara emission reduction strategy in line with Indonesia's zero emission target in 2070. Before I deliver my presentation, I kindly allow me to greet the Director of the School of Strategy and Global Studies, Universitas Indonesia, Mr. Author Subroto, PhD, the Executive Director of Sustainable Development Goals, UCSI University Malaysia, Mrs. Norani Abu Bakar, Dr. Teng Kau Huo from Low Carbon Innovation Hub, UCSI University Malaysia, Dr. Lin Yola as the manager of Smart Green Campaign 2021 Universitas Indonesia, also to the representative of Aliansi Zero Waste Indonesia, and special for my colleague from the government side, the Honorable Vice Mayor of Depok, Mr. Insinyur Haji Imam Budi Hartono. Surely I am not forget to address the professor and other lecturers to able to make themselves available in this event today. Together with all the audiences offline and online, please receive the warm greetings from North Minahasa, which also serve as an invitation to visit our beautiful homeland and to enjoy the hospitality of Minahasanis. Next slide. Next slide. Yes. As a short introduction, Minahasa Utara lies in the north part of the tip of Sulawesi Island in the territory of Sulawesi Utara province. Used to be part of Minahasa Regency back in the old day. Minahasa Utara has been independent region since December 2003. Located between the province capital city Manado and the industrial city equipped with the zona economy zone and internet seaport Bitung, Minahasa covered the area of 1,059 kilometers and contains 10 districts, 131 village sub-district with the total population of 224,993 in 2020. Next slide. The total area of open green space is about 149.63 kilometer or 15.13% of the total area of Minahasa. Next slide. There are two different categories about the process, which the waste reduction process and the waste management process. For the waste reduction, we have reused 144 tons of waste, recycle 153 tons, which resulted in the waste dumping restriction of the 9,900 tons in a year. For the waste management process, we have conducted the waste management for about 297 tons, which lead to the final processing of 13,067 tons in a year. North Minahasa Regency has 15.13% of the area of green space, or equivalent to 149.63 kilometers. We have Hutan Kenangan, or Memorial Forest Surrounding Complex of the Region Office of North Minahasa, and cover around 15 hectares. We have Hutan Kota Kakidian, Menorah City Forest in Ermadidi Sub-District, and covered around 37 hectares. We have Hutan Kota Talise, or Talise City Forest at Kolongan Village in Kalawat District, and coverage around 6 hectares. And we have Kota Kuil, Hutan Kota Kuil, or Kuil City Forest at Kuil Village in Kalawat District, and covered around 43 hectares. Next slide. Next slide. We have a program in North Minahasa we call Jumpa JGKWL, or Keeping the Cleanest of Area and Neighborhood, on Friday morning. And we have a program Budaya 4D, dilihat, dipungut, dipilah, dan dibuang, or to seek, to pick, to sort, and to throw away of the waste on its designated place or a bin. To reduce the use of plastic bag and implementation of reduce, reuse, and recycle, and the establishment of the waste bank and compost house in the every village and school, and to provide the separate waste bins and the additional green open space in every office and business premises in North Minahasa. And next slide. Next slide. Okay, this is the picture of the activity movement. We have keeping the cleanest of area and neighborhood on every Friday morning, and we do the 4D program to seek, to pick, to sort, and to throw away, and to reduce use of plastic bag with the reduce, reuse, and recycle, and to establishment of the waste bank and compost house on every village and school. Next slide. Okay, next slide. Okay, we have a decree of the region of Minahasa Utara, North Minahasa, number 42 in 2070, to mandate every premarital couple in North Minahasa to plant 1 tree in order to complete the administrative accomplishment in the Department of Population and Civil Registration. Next slide. We reduced to use paper with the one reduced pen budget in office stationery, and two, we replace the electronic version or doing online. Electronic signature as a result of the joint agreement of the North Minahasa government and BSSN or the Badan Cyber and Sandi Negara or National Cyber and Crypto Agency. A MOU has signed and now in process of waiting for the training from BSSN. And we have switching to e-invitation and e-agendas. And three, reuse the used paper or misprinted document for concepting letter, notebooks, and hardcovers. Next slide. Okay. Efficient use of water and energy to encouraging the common use of renewable energy using the energy safer lamps, adjustment of the lighting and room ventilation, turn off or shut down all electronic equipment after use, turn off, close the faucet after use, and biopore making. These have been implemented in every office in North Minahasa Regency. Next slide. You can see in the picture. Next slide. Okay. Indonesia biggest solar power plant in Wineru village, Likupang Timur, which the daily capacity of the 25 megawatt. Its employees of the total of 64,620 solar panels since its operation start in September 5th, 2017. North Minahasa is on the planning stage to establish pengelolaan sampah menjadi energi listrik or PSEL, waste to electrical power plant in 3 different locations in with total capacity of 4,000 watt. Next slide. The government of North Minahasa and PT Tirta Investama Air Madidi have worked together to manage the park we call Monarah Biodiversity Park in Air Madidi. This biodiversity park has covered 3.6 hectares and as a part of the Klabat Mountain ecosystem. It has been set as the place to collect vegetation and serve as the educational, research, ecotourism, and science development facility as the open green space and the additional vegetation covering area. Next slide. This year, the government of North Minahasa have developed 3 villages to involve in the program Kampung Iklim, Proklim, or Climate Village Program. These are 3 villages are Sawangan, Laikit, and Kahuku. This program is designed as the actual action of the mitigation and adaptation to reduce the greenhouse gas emission to face the climate change. Next slide. Consists of 15 people. This team is formed to anticipate and report from the communities or from media if there are piles of waste that haven't been cleared yet. Next slide. Finally, thank you for the opportunity given to me in this truly important event. And again, I would like to convey the warmest regard from the people of North Minahasa and invite all of you to come and enjoy our hospitality and the land of smiling people and the land of waving coconut leaf, the land of Minahasa Utara. Thank you and have a blessed moment.
Thank you very much, Bapak Joneganda. I think that was very remarkable sharing that you don't just only initiate some big projects in Minahasa Utara, like the largest solar panel installations in Indonesia just now, but also involving the communities, taking them into the real project on the ground. I think, yes, those are the programs that we also would like to also share in our Smart Green platform later. So we don't just see the initiatives from the academics only, but also from the policymakers and the societies. Thank you very much, Bapak Joneganda. And
thank you, Dr. Linyola.
Yes, of course. And greetings to all of the people in Minahasa Utara. I can see there are a lot of them attending this event as well. In Zoom and YouTube. Thank you very much. Greeting to all.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And let's move to the next speaker. We have Bapak IR Haji Imam Budi Hartono. He's the Vice Mayor of Depok City, Indonesia. Hello, Bapak Imam.
Yeah, hello.
Yes,
Dr.
you're
Lin,
doing good, right?
you.
Thank you very much for accepting our invitations to share for today's event. And let me read your CV here. Bapak Imam is actually the Vice Mayor of Depok City since this year, 2021, till later, later 2026. He was having the very long career as the member of the parliament in Depok City since 1999. His very long career here.
Yes.
So you are going to share your programs and initiatives in Depok City, in how Depok really implemented the smart city and the green concept. Bapak Imam, 10 minutes is yours. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Lin. Can we to share the slide?
Yes, it speaks now.
Ya, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon all. There, Dr. Lin, Professor Ator, Mr. Teng Ka Ho, Mr. John J.A. Ganda S.A., Mrs. Nurani Abu Bakar, thank you for this opportunity to present the Depok City program, Green City and Smart City. Next slide, please. Depok City profile. Depok City has an area of 200.29 hectares. Depok is an agglomeration area in Jakarta, located in the south of Jakarta. Population 1,844,932. Depok has 11 sub-district and 63 sub-district: Pancoran Mas, Beji, Cinere, Limo, Sawangan, Bojongsari, Cipayung, Cilodong, Sukmajaya, Tapos, and Cimanggis. Depok border with DKI Jakarta, Tangerang City, Bekasi City, and Bogor City. Vision in RPJPD, Regional Long-Term Development Plan 2006 to 2026, Depok as a commercial and service city with environmentally friendly and religious. Vision RPJMD Regional Midterm Development Plan 2021 to 2026, Depok as developed, cultured, and prosperous city. Mission in RPJMD Regional Midterm Development Plan: 1. Improving development of infrastructure based on technology and environmental insight. 2. Improving governance and participatory public service. 3. Actualizing religious and cultural society based on diversity and family resilience. 4. Creating a prosperous, independent, and competitive society. 5. Realizing a healthy, safe, orderly, and comfortable city. Next slide. Next slide, please. Build a green and smart city based SDGs, Goal 6, Goal 7, Goal 11, Goal 30, and Goals 15. Next slide. The condition of Depok City, 23 lakh in Depok City. The condition of the lake or situ in Depok has begun to be maintained both from asset security and infrastructure intervention, such as creating a jogging area around the lake or situ. To maintain the cleanliness of the lake or situ and water quality standards, we formed a working group in situ, or Pokja situ, local people who are funded by the city or central government. Depok, 3 major rivers in Depok, Ciliwung, Pasanggerahan, and Cikeas. The big river in Depok, the river is starting to be damaged by pollution from liquid waste and garbage. The river has the potential to become a nature tourist spot such as rafting. The protect the river from various environmental communities such as Ciliwung community. Their activity is handling the waste in the river while rafting and plant trees. Legal budget policy condition regional revenues and expenditures budget APBD Depok City 3.2 trillion. To hand wash and environmental in Depok, the budget used in approximating 160 billion per year. The agency that handles waste in the Depok is the Department of Environmental and Cleanliness DLHK, Dinas Lingkungan Hidup dan Kebersihan. Legal policy, regional regulation number 3 2018 concerning the implementation of Green City and regulation of Mayor Depok City number 15 2019 conferring reducing the use of plastic bags and food and drink packaging. Citizen empowerment was bank, environmental, community, and support from nearby universities. Next slide. West Bank in the Depok. 317 West Bank on Hamlet or airway level and 2 main West Banks total 925 Hamlet airway on Depok City. Most members of the West Bank are from among mothers because men usually work and women often stay at home. Depok City has successfully achieved 70% of waste reduction in 2020, and we received an award from the Ministry of Environment for this achievement. This waste reduction is achieved by three approaches. One was West Bank, which handles non-organic waste such as plastic, etc., 5 tons per day. 2, UPS, Organic Waste Processing Unit, which handles 82 tons of organic waste per day. 3, other community-based approach such waste collection initiative in school. The revitalization of the West Bank is needed in order to help accelerate the reduction of the volume of waste in the Depok City. Technological intervention will also help to improve West Bank management, including making implications that make it easier for residents to sell waste from home. As for the budget for the community that handles waste, it is 1.3 billion rupiahs spread in every urban village, such as 50 million rupiahs. The environmental community, 205 consists of 61 farmer group, 9 cattle groups, 77 farmer women's groups, 82 fish farmer group, 16 processing and market groups, and environmental community at Haur, Ciliwung Depok community, Sahabat Ciliwung, Sendahu Primer Kultur, Depok Berkebun community, Semut-Semut community, and etc. Thank you. Let's go to Depok City, find the sensation and the beauty, the people friendly, the city is advancing. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, Bapak Imam, for the great sharing. I think we can see that there are a lot of green programs as well as the smart city programs done in Depok. As we all know that Depok is actually facing a lot of environmental issues and social issues because of the population is really concentrating in Depok away from the city center of Jakarta. So
Yes.
I think it's very great move from Depok City to have this kind of programs to at least mitigating and also adapting to the current challenges of the environmental and social. Thank you very much, Bapak Imam. Yeah, I'm going to call you again to later for the discussions. So yeah, but let me call the next speaker first. Thank you very much, Bapak Imam.
Okay, you are welcome.
Yes, the next one, let's invite our next speaker, Ibu Daru Setiorini. She's from the NGO Ikotan. Hello, Ibu Daru. How are you doing today?
Hello. Yes, Assalamualaikum, Dr. Lin.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you very much for accepting our invitations to share in our today's campaign. So before inviting you for sharing your programs today. Let me call your CV that Ibu Dr. Darulini is actually Indonesian environmental biologist. She's currently working as the program development manager at NGO Cotton that developed the advocacy and community awareness program to promote the sustainable watershed management and environmental pollution prevention in Brantas River Basin in East Java. And I think she's having a lot of projects on the waste, zero waste, and banning the plastic waste in those areas. So yeah, let me don't call all of the CV because I think you are having a very long list of the green projects here. Let us just hear from your sharing what you have done, and let's see what we can learn from your experience and practice. Please, Dr. Daru.
Thank you. Good afternoon, all participants, and I'm so happy to be here today with you. So the internet connection is not really good in my place, so I will ask the organizer to share my PowerPoint from Jakarta. Yes, so this is my topic. So I will share with you about our campaign to break free from plastic from rivers to ocean. So Ekoton here, representing member of Alliance for Zero Waste Indonesia, is a network for Indonesian NGO that work towards zero waste in Indonesia that consists of nine NGOs, including Ekoton. We also member of international network, Global Alliance for Incinerator Alternatives, and International Pollutants Elimination Network. Next slide, please. Yeah, so Ekoton was established in year 2000. We started from the university when we still study there, and after we graduate, we formalized this organization to become NGO. Our mission is to encourage community participation and to promote integrated water resource management and wetlands conservation. And we work in the issue of environmental justice, watershed management, pollution prevention, and biodiversity conservation. So in every campaign, we supported by 3 pillars, which is, we call it READ, or research, education, and advocacy. Next. Next slide. Yeah. In our work, we got some acknowledgement, yeah, from the international and also national partners. Like our director received Goldman Environmental Prize in year 2011 and met with the US President Barack Obama with other winners or awardee from 6 world continents in the White House. Next slide. And Ekoton also received Kalpataru Award from the President. So I was received this award representing my organization in June 2013. Next slide. Yeah, so what we do in our campaign, now we are focusing on the plastic waste, because in many rivers in Indonesia, we can see that rivers choke with plastic waste, and in Java especially, disposable diapers become a dominant waste we found on the riverbank, along the bridge side, and also on the beach. Why we focus on plastic? Because plastic is the major threat to our climate. And the production, recycling, and incineration of plastic are on track to emit as much as 615 coal power plants with capacity of 500 megawatts in year 2050. So it's emit really significant amount of greenhouse gases to our environment that will harm our climate. Next slide. Yeah, in the Java especially, yeah, if we go to the beach, we cannot see clean and white sand beach anymore, but mostly we can see, what we can see is the beaches that covered with plastic waste like this. This is in Lamongan, is Java, so it's like a fisherman kampung. And also, actually, it's a beautiful beach, but because of a lack of facility for the community and lack of awareness, so the trash just throw into the beach, yeah, and it creating, yeah, the scenery like this. It's not really really good to enjoy. Next. Slide. Yeah, in Surabaya also we can see mangrove forest that become a touristic area for Surabaya city, also covered with plastic, and famous brand like Coca-Cola, Unilever, P&G, and diapers like Mami Poco, Pampers, Huggies. We can find any brands along the beach. Yeah, so we cannot see beautiful beaches anymore, and the mangrove also died because of the root is covered with plastic, so they cannot grow up, and finally many trees of mangrove, we can see it just died. Next. Yeah, this situation will harm our future generation, because we know plastic cannot be degraded, so it takes hundreds of years for the plastic to degrade it in natural way. So as parents, we have to do or to fight this plastic pollution to save our future generation. Next slide. Yeah, for the diaper, we have special campaign, Save Rivers from Diapers. This in Berantas River. We have the team Brigade Evakuasi Popok that will clean up the river and clean up the dump site on the riverbank, and coordinate with the local EPA to clean or to take this trash to the landfill. Next slide. Yeah, because 47% of the waste we see in Berantas River is the diapers, because in Javanese, they have a myth that the diapers should not be burned. So people just throw it to the waterways, so the diapers cannot be burned anymore. And they think that the baby will be safe, because if the diaper being burned, and the baby will get sick. Next slide. Yeah, and disposable diapers is 55% made from plastic, and it contains super absorbent polymer like a gel that can keep a lot of water in the diaper, that makes it useful for the to collect the pee and for the baby. Next slide. This is what the diaper can contain. Yeah, the diaper contain chlorine, super absorbent polymer, and also the plastic chemicals, phthalate, non-woven is the layer that looks like cotton, but actually it's synthetic textile, yeah, and it will release microfiber, microplastic, and also a microbead, and those chemicals are also categorized as persistent chemical, organic pollutants, and endocrine disrupting chemicals. Next slide. Yeah, there are some study that already shown that diapers and sanitary menstrual pad contain toxic chemical, phthalate, and volatile organic compounds that can harm the health of the people or the baby and the women who use the pads. So in long term, phthalate can cause endocrine disorder like cancer, also carcinogenic, and maybe can cause irritation, and also can disturb the hormonal system in our body. Next slide. Yes, there's also a research about the link of phthalate in the urine with the breast cancer and uterine leiomyoma. So in the samples, in the respondent, that when the phthalate in urine is high, there is also high risk of the person to have breast cancer. Next slide, please. And plastic recycling is also a problem. It's not effective because in Indonesia, the plastic cleaning and shopping, it's done by the small industry, small scale home industry, where they don't have a facility to treat the wastewater, and they don't have the protection also for the workers. This is very, very dangerous because the plastic contain not only made from oil that already contain toxic chemical, but there is also additive that have been added to make plastic, to make it hard, to make it waterproof, and also to make it flexible. So next slide. Yeah, this is microplastic. We conduct research on microplastic in the water, in the fish, and also in the salt. And we found in the human faces also, we have 103 sample of human faces, and we found 100% of the sample contain microplastic. It means that we already consume microplastic in our body without we know. Next slide. Yeah, this is the laboratory, the researcher in Ecoton that we conduct research on microplastic, and we found that high number of particles in the water sample from Surabaya. Next. Beside the domestic waste problem, we also have problem with the imported plastic waste. And Indonesia become a dump site for the several countries that export their waste. But in Indonesia, the waste is not treated properly. So the waste is just burned or dumped like this and make pollution in our environment. Next slide. Yeah, this is the situation in East Java, close to the paper mills. That paper mills import the waste from foreign country. Next slide. Yeah, you can go next. Yeah, this is the container that being inspected at the port, and now Indonesia have better regulation. Yeah, we have to set the limit for the contaminant only 2%, but still there is somehow lack of enforcement can happen. So we still have to monitor this waste trade. And Australia already get rejected. Yeah, we export back the waste from Australia because it was too dirty. Next slide. Yeah, we can go next. Okay. Maybe we can go directly to the slide number 37. Yeah, I'm sorry because the internet is so bad. And maybe we can go directly to the slide number 37. Yeah, this is what the solution for the plastic pollution. We know that the waste management has hierarchy, and reduction and reuse should be our priority. So more energy, more investment should be given to this effort to reduce and to set up the system that the producer can distribute their product not as single use, but we can refill the product with our old bottles, so it can be reused for the long time. And recycling is not the solution because it creates more problem, and we have lack of facility to collect and to clean and to segregate the waste. We don't have the system to segregate the waste right now. That's why we need to start to segregate our waste system. And incineration should be our last option, yeah, in managing our waste. So how what we should do is to maybe for the policy, we need more regulation to ban single-use plastic and to push the producer to enforce extended producer responsibility, redesign their product to be more sustainable and less waste. Next slide. Yeah, so what we do in our Zero Waste City program, first we need to campaign, yeah, the community to move away from consumerism and throwaway culture to change into simplicity and sustainable lifestyle. So we have to dare to change, to avoid, to refuse single-use plastic in our daily life. That should be the new trend of a lifestyle, and we need the young generation to be in the front line of this lifestyle change. Next slide. And also the sachet producer should be banned, yeah, sachet packaging, because it's really too much sachet we found on the riverbank, on the beach cleanup. So sachet is really difficult to recycle and cannot be recycled right now. So we have to avoid to use sachet packaging. The next slide. And there are several products that we have to avoid in our house, like glass bottle water, and also plastic glass bottle, plastic glass package water, yeah, plastic glass bottle, and also the Teflon cooking utensil that with a layer of non-stick pan Teflon is also hazardous for our health. And for the community, we need to educate the community and to doing the campaign to create the new lifestyle for the in the community, so they can reduce the waste, especially single-use plastic. And also community should be involved in planning the waste management system in their village, in their area. And they have this program have to be done in very long time. So it takes time to create the good habit or change habit in the community. That's why we need to conduct education with a door-to-door method. And we also need a lot of program, yeah, in the government to increase awareness through this education program involving school and university students. And also for the producer, we need to push the producer to invest more money to change the distribution system from the single-use to the refill system. In Jakarta, there are some shops that already sell bookstore, and also they sell naked product that that will contribute to the waste prevention. And the producer should also redesign their product, so all product can be easily recycled and not consist of different layer or different type of polymer, so the quality can be maintained to be recycled back into the same product, like from bottle recycled back to bottle for the new product. And also we need more regulation and more incentive for the producer that already showing their effort, committed to reduce their plastic consumption. And this is also not happen right now, yeah. So the producer free, it seems like free to pollute. They free to produce a lot of packaging and waste, but they don't take responsibility in collecting or in treating their waste. So the waste management should also be borne by the producer. And we do village. We develop village waste management system, yeah. So we try to introduce the waste segregation at source system, so we can collect more recyclables and we can use produce more compost in the village. This segregation at source is a requirement if we want to improve the waste management system. So we have to push the waste segregation at source can be enforced all over Indonesia, and every village should have their own waste management facility. So door-to-door collection, segregated waste collection should be implemented in all the village, not only in the city, but also in the rural area, remote area, and even in the islands. And the organic waste should be managed, should be priority to be managed, because 60% of our waste is organic waste. So I think that's all I can share with you. Thank you for listening. If you want to follow our activity, you can find in our social media, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We also have some documentary that you can see in the YouTube channel, Watchdog Image. We have Ekspedisi Tiga Sungai, and in Bioskop Online, there is Pulau Plastic movie. And also the Emmy Award winner, The Story of Plastic, Ekoton, is also part of that documentary. Thank you for listening. I over back to Dr. Lin. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Daru. I think that was a very wonderful project that you are having with Ekoton there. I think if we have more time, I think there is no enough time to discuss about that. So we'll get back to you later, Dr. Daru. But before we go to the discussions and interactive forum, I think we are going to have a short break from the committee, but let me call some summary of the speech just now, that we are having enough discussions on the importance of the SDGs targets and agenda, and as well as the low carbon concepts that already being shared by Ms. Norani and Dr. Teng Kahau from UCSI University, as well as the sharing by the policymakers from Bapak John Ganda and Bapak Imam Budi Hartono on how the green initiative is not only left as the public policies, but is really implemented on ground, and is really meant for the needs of the societies and the environment, and as well as the move and the initiatives from the NGOs is very important to really go to the ground to check whether the issues are really as what we worried of, but also to see the reality and then the needs of the real solutions to those environmental issues. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think before we go to the discussion and interactive forum, inviting all of the speakers, let me pass the floor to the MC first for a short break. Please, Victorina.
Thank you very much, Dr. Lin, and thank you for all speakers. We'll now have a short break and a video performance. Stay tuned as we'll continue our next agenda shortly. Please, IT team. Ladies and gentlemen, Ladies and gentlemen, now we'll have our second exciting game, and the questions are about the previous presentations. And we'll still be using Kahoot, so you're pleased to use your browsers to join the game. And IC team, please share the website link in the chat box, and the questions will be shared in the Zoom, so you can either use your browser in laptop or other devices. Please use your first name and affiliation so the committee can track the winner for the winning prize. And the prizes are proudly presented by our organizers and collaborators. Thank you to the organizers and collaborators. And we encourage everyone to join the game. And please, IT team, can you share the screen? Okay. So the game pin for the second game is 2614085. We already have 4 participants here. We'll be waiting for another minute for everyone to join. We'll have the prizes will be the shopping vouchers. So it's going to be exciting and interesting, and I hope you can join us. Okay. The game pin is 2614085. You can use your first name and affiliations, so the committee members could track you down and give you the prize if you win the game. Okay, 20 participants now. Maybe we'll be waiting for 25 or 30 participants to join. Okay. I think we can start the game, IT team. Okay, the second game today. We'll be having 5 questions. How many waste banks were set by authorities in Depok? This is from the previous presentation. 117, 227, 317 on 427. Okay, and the answer is 317 waste bank in Depok. It's okay, we still have another questions. Congratulations to Fallon, now is leading the scoreboard. And the second question is, what is not a form of community engagement in promoting environment protections in Depok? Waste bank, environmental community, zero waste community, or support from nearby universities. 3, 2, 1, and the answer is zero waste community. Only 4 participants are correct today. It's okay. It's okay. And Fallen from SMA 70 is still leading the board. Okay, third question. What is the total area of open green space promoted in North Minahasa? Okay, it's kind of tricky question because you have to listen carefully from the previous presentation. 3, 2, 1, and the answer is 149 kilometer square. Okay, now Fallon from SMA 70 is leading the scoreboard. The second last question. Choose the green programs initiated in North Minahasa. Trees planting, paper usage reduction, climate village program, or all of the above. We still have 3 seconds. And the answer is all of the above. Let's see the scoreboard. Okay, we have Fallon, Ahmad Fadil, and Olivia. And the last question. What should be the next stage for participants after this Smart Green Campaign 2021? Study the concept of Smart Green, collaboration and taking action, joining the Smart Green Campaign 2022, or review reporting? 3 seconds. And the answer is collaboration and taking action. So let's see who are the winners. The third place, Alivia from SMA 70. The second one is Ahmad Fadil. I guess he's from Universitas Indonesia. And the first is Valen from SMA 70. Wow, what an interesting and exciting game, yeah? And congratulations to all winners, and you'll be given a shopping voucher. And the IC team will contact you for more information. And for those who haven't won, don't worry, we still have another prizes at the end of the event. So stay tuned at Smart Green Campaign 2021. Let me pass the floor back to our moderator today, Dr. Lynn Yola. Please, Dr. Lynn, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Victorina. I hope all of the audience and participants are really having a fun break just now with the games and the fun questions, of course, from the sharing from the speakers. And of course, I will thank you to all of the sponsors, yeah, from SSGS UI, from Minahasa Utara and Depok City Councils. Thank you very much. And let's move to the next agenda. Before our interactive and discussion forum, let me call the students ambassadors to present around 2 to 3 minutes of their campaign from each of the university, from SSGS UI and UCSI University. Let me call the first one, Ibu Diah Nawang Ratnasari.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello,
Yes,
Dr.
Ibu Diah.
Lynn.
Yes.
Yeah, how are you?
Hey, how are you? I'm very good. Thank you very much for spending time and joining our campaign today.
Yes.
Yes. If we could have your quick campaign for maybe 2 to 3 minutes about what the maybe the academics or the international schools have done in Jakarta about the smart green campaign. So far, please share your experience. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Lynn. I'm very happy and thank you for involve me in this campaign with school children. Okay, let me share something. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you have a lot of slides, but can you please make it quick?
Okay.
Because we are behind the schedule.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. I have a greeting. Salam cerdas, berakhlak mulia, dan berkarakter Pancasila. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon all. On this occasion, I will give an overview of the healthy school lifestyle in Indonesia. Okay. Sorry, I have to move this. Yeah. Why is environment health is important? Because component of healthy school lifestyle, such as health services, behavior, heredity, and environment. But for now, I will only discuss about environment and behavior, right? As we know that regulation of the Ministry of the Environment of Republic Indonesia number 5 in 2013 concerning guidelines for the implementation of the Adiwiyata program. Adiwiyata is carrying school and environmentally culture school. And then maybe you don't know what is the definition of Adiwiyata program. Adiwiyata Green or Green School is one of the program of the State Ministry of the Environment, which has the aim of encouraging the creation of knowledge and also awareness of school residents in environmental conservation. Adiwiyata has the meaning of one of the good and ideal place that all knowledge and also various norms and ethics are based on, which are the basis of human being to towards the creation of the welfare of our life in direction of the ideals of sustainable development. The goals of Adiwiyata program, the first is creating better conditions for schools to become a place for learning, as well as awareness for all school members, including students, teachers, parents or guardians of students, and also the community environment in order to create environmental conservation effort. And the second, school residents are also responsible for trying to save the environment as well as sustainable development. And the third, encourage and assist schools to be able to participate in carrying out government efforts to preserve the environment for the sake of the interests of future generations. Adiwiyata target and criteria. Adiwiyata target are found in formal education at the elementary from elementary, middle, and high school level. The aspect of school policies that have environmental insight, and the aspect of the school curriculum that has an environmental basis. Aspect of the management of facility and supporting infrastructure for environmentally friendly school. Aspect of environmental activity is participatory. It was based on school. Okay, Adiwiyata program principle has two principles. Yeah? The first, participatory, meaning that all components of the school are involved in all processing consisting of planning, implementation, and evaluation based on their respective responsibility and roles. And the second is a sustainable, which can be interpreted to mean that all activities or all activities must be carried out in planned and continuous manner in a comprehensive manner. So this is our program, everybody. We have a Kantin Sehat Indonesia, bersama menuju sehat, bersama menuju Indonesia sehat. These are small things that we can do, as also our speaker before, taking the program reduce, reuse, and recycle. What is a reduce? We have a bring reusable drink and food container. For go to canteen, we have to bring our food and drink container, all right, and provide refill drinking water that school providing for the student, and food and drink sold in canteen does not use single-use plastic. Food and drink sold in canteen does not use styrofoam packaging. And plastic-free campaign, finishing all your food without waste. They have a sanction, what is a punishment to if your teacher see your food is not finished for eating, yeah, you will have a punishment, okay? And reuse. What is reuse? Use good for craft, using paper bag and for the notebook or notes, using packaging of purchasing product as much as possible. And the last is a recycling for waste sorting, depositing plastic and paper waste to garbage bank, making liquid and solid compost, and making paper waste recycling. That's all. I have a program for education, Mrs. Lin. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much, Ibu Dia. I think you already shared the very wonderful program in the school level, and I think it's a very good initiative because you are also the student in the postgraduate school in Universitas Indonesia. So it's kind of like very good message also from the university to the school societies. Thank you very much, Ibu Dia.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Lin.
Okay, the next one, let's call the students ambassador from UCSI University. Let's call Mr. Lee Yen Ying, the chairman of the ICME student chapter, vice chairman of the IET students chapter. Hello, how are you, Mr.
Hello.
Lee?
Hi, I'm great.
Yes, we are very honored to have you today. So we are going to give you 2 to 3 minutes to share your campaign on the Green Campus programs, please, Mr. Lee.
All right. So yeah, thank you, everyone. And thank you, the organizers of this event, for giving me a chance to represent as a student ambassador to talk about for me to share about the student activities in UCSI. So without further ado, let me share my presentation. So firstly, I'll talk a bit about the academic projects I was involved with. So this is for my subject, which is engineering, design, and drawing. In this subject, in our final assessment, we are required to design and build a hut using recycled materials. So as you can see, one of the recycled materials we used were plastic bottles, wooden pallets, and wooden beams. Here is what it would look like if we were able to build it. So we would use the plastic bottles and build it as a roof for the wooden hut, and use the subsequent wooden pallets and the wooden beams to build the infrastructure of the wooden hut. This is in line with the SDG goal number 9, which is industry, innovation, and infrastructure. It's a bit unfortunate at the time because we were able to come up with this design, but due to Corona, we are unable to build it physically. So that was one of the few regrets we had. So next on, as I am involved in 2 of my student chapters in university, which is iChemie and IET. So here are some of the seminars we were able to conduct within 2021. Here are some of the events which relates to sustainability and SDGs. So one of the events which is chemical engineering in SDGs, biomass potential contribution to the world's future, biodiesel, introduction to biodiesel as a sustainable source of energy in Malaysia, and low carbon energy, the future, which was given by Dr. Tang, also one of our speakers here for today. So next, so after we learn all this technical knowledge from these seminars we organize, so we try to apply it in our own club projects, which one of it is the community engagement project, where we collect waste cooking oil and convert it into biodiesel. So it's a collective collaboration between engineering student chapters of our university, as well as collaboration between UCSI Chirasto Carbon Innovation Hub, led by Dr. Teng just now as well, and also Fat Hopes Energy, which is a company that converts waste cooking oil into biodiesel. So here are some of the pics from the event. Here are the waste cooking oil that we managed to collect from the restaurants. The way we approach them is via email, via social media, where we would ask them if they are interested. And if they are interested, they will just need to fill in this Google form and fill in their particulars, and we will reach out to them afterwards. So the next thing I would like to share, which is one of our future events we would plan to conduct, is a solar panel assembly workshop, where we will teach secondary school students from various secondary schools from Klang Valley, and we will teach them how to assemble a solar panel module, as well as the importance of renewable energy and sustainability. So for this event, we have already secured funding of amounting to 400 British pounds from IET UK, which we think, of course, is a big achievement for us, since with this amount we can purchase more solar panel modules for the students. And yeah, as mentioned, the main objective for us is to spread awareness of sustainability and renewable energy among youth, as the youths are, of course, very important as they carry forward our mission to save the planet. So that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lee. That is very exciting projects. I think, and you are also having the funding from the external parties. I think it's very interesting that students cannot, they don't just only have a move in the campus, but also contributing to the external parties. And yeah, thank you very much to both of the students ambassadors, Mr. Lee and Ibu Dia. Let's move to the next agenda, our interactive discussions with all of the speakers that already shared their thought today. We are having plenty of questions from the floor. Our committee already collected some questions and presented in the slide. But before that, let me call one last added questions from the chat room from Bapak Komara Jaya. Thank you very much, Bapak Komara. I think he's very keen and excited to join this program today. His question is actually how we can engage all of the stakeholders, including the private players and policymakers to this kind of campaign, this kind of smart green move. So maybe let me ask all of the speakers from Ms. Nurani, Dr. Tengkahau, Bapak John Ganda, and Ibu Daru. Is that possible to engage, and maybe the students ambassadors, yeah, to engage this kind of collaborations between the multi-layer stakeholders into the same message or movement on the smart green, that in the same platform we have policymakers, private players, academics, NGO together. Is that possible? Maybe, yes. Do we have Ms. Nurani?
Yes, Dr. Lin Yola.
Yes.
I'm so happy to see what the students have presented, and also to see from the governmental level, Mr. John Ganda and Ibu and Mr. Kenya that presented just now. I think it's a good what you have done on the ground really gives aspiration to the students to find a way to upscale their project. I think that's something that both parties can work. I wish we have also representative from the Malaysian government or from the municipality or that from Bandaraya in Malaysia that can also see what you have done, and that you have the figures and your outcomes all compiled. Very impressive, especially the part on the policy about a couple getting married, planting a tree together. It's such a simple act, but it's really heart moving. Because I think stuff, action like that, similar like in the Philippines, every student is required to plant 10 trees if they want to graduate. Every high school student, if I'm not mistaken. So simple act that our students can adopt, and actually our young students, Iin and Ms. Dua, Nawang, you are also creative, and you actually can create movement in the country, pressuring the government to do something at the policy level. Yeah, so I think definitely we can work something together. And thank you so much for all the wonderful figures sharing about what you have done, and also about the diapers. And I think we really need to engage ladies. And you did mention, I think, Bapak John, I think mentioned, or who is it that mentioned about having the mothers involved because the men are busy in their office work. I think that's an extremely good strategy. Talking about gender equality, one of the SDGs on, what is it? Gender equality SDG 5. Yeah, so that's my take, Dr. Lin Yola. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Nurani. And let's hear from our policymaker, Bapak John Ganda. What do you think? Do you think it's possible for us to have a round table collaborations to have the green move like what we been discussed for some hours back?
Yes, I'm sorry. Okay, I think in government side, we support all the Smart Green campaign. Like in our region in North Sulawesi, we have integrated place that to make a waste with more than one region and city. We work together and we put all our waste to one place, and we make that some electricity to make the waste to electricity. Maybe why we must more than only North Minahasa, because the number of the waste must be to create a new power plant with the waste sources. So in North Sulawesi, put in the North Minahasa, we have five area in North Sulawesi. We work together and put the waste in one place in North Minahasa that called in Ilo, and with the support of the central government, and they make some produce to electricity. So that's the short program that we work together in our region in North Minahasa and North Sulawesi.
Yes, but it's for sure that you are welcome to open the door for collaborations between the multi-layer stakeholders, Bapak
Yes, of
Ganda.
course. Yes, of course. because if we only use the waste from North Minahasa, it is the number is not enough. So that's why we must collaborate with the others. So the numbers can be more efficient to use that waste to make electricity.
All right. Thank you very much, Bapak Ganda. So let's move to the next questions. Committee, do we have the list of the questions? Maybe just pick some of them because we are really behind the schedule. Maybe the first one. The smart city just now. The next slide, please. Okay, is the smart city concept relevant for the poor cities? I think this is. I think we need to ask these questions to Dr. Tenkahau, as he was talking about the smart city and low carbon city.
Sure.
Please, Dr.
Sure. Thank you, Dr. Limola. In my point of view, I think the smart city concept is not really related either you are a very wealth country or you're very wealth city or poor city. Everything can start from the very green lifestyle. Everyone can practice to become a smart city from your home, right? Just a very simple examples. You can start to have recycling activities within your homeland, or you can have a self-electricity lifestyle, and also recycle and reuse, etc. All these simple lifestyle activities, in fact, is a baby step, as I always mention. We need to start from somewhere to bring us towards the smart city. And when it comes to the smart city big pictures, right? Of course, we need to piece by piece to develop it into one of the full concept of the smart city. I hope I answered the questions. Thank you.
Of course, thank you very much, Dr. Tenkahau. And let's pick the last questions, how to make a balance between the social and economic needs in a city scenario. Let's address these questions to Ibu Daru. Ibu Daru,
okay.
Do you think from your presentation just now is really like against and banning all of those pampers industries as they are moving towards the economic needs, but Do you think it's kind of like possible to make a balance between the economic needs, social needs, and as well as the environmental needs? Please, Ibu Daru.
Yes, I think social, economic, and environment should be all can run together, yeah, can go together. If economic is being, how to call it, it's like polluted because of the economic and social, it will in the future, our economic will also cannot go, cannot develop, because the development relies on the natural resources, like in river. If the river is polluted, there will be more disease, will be suffered by the community, because the water is polluted with microplastic, with toxic chemicals. So actually government should not only prioritize economic development, and the community also should not prefer the cheap product that will suffer the environment, because usually cheap product is not really good quality, and sometimes they disregard the environmental protection measures, yeah, and also sometimes they have to break the law to create cheap products. So we have to realize that environment also need to be need our support, need our attention. So we also have to invest some money to the environment in order to support our social welfare and our quality of life, and also our economic development, so it can continuously, sustainably develop. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ibu Daru. So it's possible, right, to have the balance. And let's maybe call for one last questions addressed to the students ambassador. Maybe a quick answer from both of them. Can students be contributing to map policies in global climate change mitigation and adaptations? I'm very sure that the answer is yes, but what do you think about that? Mr. Lee and Ibu Dia, please.
Okay, who first?
Yes, please, Ibu Dia.
Okay. But the first of all, I want to answer Mr. Komara, Professor Komara question, yeah, Mr. Dr. Lin. It is very possible, I think, that Dr. Lin, even now the education office has implemented for schools to implement waste bank saving. I forget to tell the story. This program is collaboration with bank, I mean like Bank DKI or Bank Mandiri or Bank BNI. They sort waste, plastic, paper, etc. And then they are weighed, and then they get money, extra money, and in their saving after that. Nah, you know, Kadisdik, what is called Kantor Dinas Pendidikan, who conduct the education school, have a program this and collaboration with another perbankan, another banking. So the school just if you are interested, so please register your school to participate in Adiwiyata program. And after that, I think government have a what we call modal pendampingan, yeah. They call the MPB, modal pendampingan pendidikan, MPP. Just like that, and it's also I want to answer the question of Mr. Komara also, who Jeffrey, who private asked to me. Yes, I already have a program to right now to canteen, but maybe next I bring the program to toilet or the greeny park and something like that. For canteen, I will campaign more, yeah, for bring the eating tools. Yeah, I think just like that. Thank you, Mr. Lee, Dr. Lee.
All right, thank you very much, Ibu Dia. And Mr. Lee, what is your thought about this? Can student contributing to map the policies of the mitigation and adaptations agenda? Please.
Yeah, definitely yes. For this, students can collaborate with NGOs and government agencies for this to be accomplished. So simple answer is yes.
Of course. Thank you very much, Mr. Lee. And yeah, with that, let me just close this interactive discussions forum because we are really behind the time, behind the schedule. But before closing, let me have some concluding remarks here that this is just a beginning from all what we have been discussing today, that all of the idea, initiatives, best practice from all of the multi-layer stakeholders, from the policymakers, academics, NGOs, as well as even the students. We should have all of those move in one platform, regardless the status, regardless the campus, regardless the countries, the universities. We should have the very great share to all of us, and that's what we are targeting actually, having this Smart Green campaign 2021, and as well as we are launching the Smart Green platform next year. So we are inviting all of you to have the sharing sessions in this platform. Not only talking about that, but sharing the actions, the real actions on the ground. So thank you very much again to all of the speakers. It's very honored to have you today, and it's very positive insight that we've been discussing for today's event. So that's it from me. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for the audience and participants. Very honored to have you all as well. So please, the floor is yours, Victorina. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Lin. And thank you to all speakers, moderators, and also student ambassadors for sharing your valuable experience with us today. And now let me invite the Director of SSGS Universitas Indonesia, Bapak Ator Subroto, PhD, to give the token of appreciation to all speakers, moderator, and student ambassadors. Please, Bapak Ator, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you, Victorina. So this has come for us to give a token of appreciation for all contributors here, especially from the speakers, from the vice major of Depot, etc. So this is our first appreciations as a speaker. Go to Mr. Jun Ganda, Sarjana Ekonomi, Region of North Minahasa, Indonesia. Thank you, Pak Jun Ganda.
Terima kasih.
Very great contribution. See you next time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And then our appreciation come to Bapak Insinyur Haji Imam Budi Hartono, Vice Mayor of Depok, Indonesia. Thank you, Pak Imam Budi Hartono, for your contribution today to our campaign, Smart Green Campaign 2021. And then for Dr. Tengka Hu, Low Carbon Innovation Hub, UCSI, University of Malaysia, Malaysia. Thank you, Dr. Tengka Hu, for your very nice contribution. Thank you. And then Ibu Norani Abu Bakar, Executive Director of SDGs, UCSI, University of Malaysia, Malaysia. How are you, Ibu Norani? Very great pleasure for me to see you again and your contribution today in our campaign today. Thank you. And then Ibu Daru Setiorini, SSI MSI from Ekoton Indonesia. What a great contribution. Ibu Daru, thank you for your intriguing content and figure. I hope our government will see it very clear to their part. Thank you. And then as a student Smart Green Ambassador, Ibu Diah Nawang Ratnasari, thank you, Ibu, for your contribution today.
You're welcome, sir, with pleasure.
And then for the student Smart Green Ambassador from UCSI, University of Malaysia, Lee Yin Yin, thank you, Lee Yin Yin, for your contribution today.
Thank you, Bapak Ator, for
you.
doing the token of appreciation. Yes. And thank you to all speakers, to all student ambassador and moderator for your valuable experience and sharing for everyone today. And let us move to our next agenda. We will have a door prize. So to everyone that been with us till now, we'll have a door prize. We'll have 5 door prizes and 2 grand prizes. And these prizes are proudly presented by Minahasa Utara and Depok local municipalities, Indonesia. To the IC team, can you please share your screen to let us together relate the door prizes? Okay, we have 168 participants today, and we are honored to have all of you today. So let's begin the relay. The first roulette, please, IC team. Okay, it goes to Anissa Susinta. Congratulations, Anissa Susinta. Anissa Susinta, are you still with us today? It's okay. Okay, the next one. And the second goes to Rehana Syafitri Khairunisa. Congratulations, Rehana Syafitri Khairunisa. And the third one goes to Laura Cornelia. Congratulations, Laura Cornella, I'm sorry. And the fourth spin, the door prize goes to Ridwan Akbar. Congratulations, Ridwan Akbar. And the last door prize goes to Dr. Fitri Santi. Congratulations, Dr. Fitri Santi. And congratulations to all winners. You will be given a special batik fabric from Depok City, Indonesia. And let me conclude today's winner. Please, IC team. The prize winners announcement. The Kahoot quiz winners. For the 2 time games, we have the winners Ratu Nurlita Razak from SMAN 70 Jakarta, Vina Evelyn from UCSI University Malaysia, Diah Anggraini Jatraningrum from BRIN Indonesia, Valent Kruska Pandu from SMAN 70 Jakarta, Ahmad Fadil from ITB Bandung, Indonesia, and Alivia Talita Nugroho from 70 Jakarta. Congratulations to all winners. And we also have the grand prize winners. And the first grand prize goes to DRA E. Yunitya Setiawati MSI from Stisip Kartika Bangsa, Yogyakarta. And the second grand prize winners goes to Nisrina Najla Aziz from SMAN 70 Jakarta, Indonesia. Congratulations to all winners. You will receive a special voucher from Depok and Minahasa Utara local municipalities. And also, congratulations to the 5 door prize winners, Anissa Susinta, Reihana Syafitri Kairunisa, Laura Cornella, Ridwan Akbar, and Dr. Fitri Santi. Once again, congratulations. And the IC committee will contact you soon. Before we closing today's event, we want to invite all of you to take a group photo. So please turn on your camera and be ready to shoot. Okay, the first one, let's do for the our excellencies today. Bapak Ator Subroto, PhD, and our manager, Dr. Lin Yola, and to all speakers, Bapak Jun Ganda, Bapak Imam, Dr. Teng, Ibu Daru, Miss Norani, Mrs. Diah, and Mr. Lee. Please turn on your camera. And IT team, please be ready. Have you captured all of the speakers, moderators, and also the student ambassadors? Okay. Is everyone on cam? Okay. In 3, 2, 1, smile. IT team, another one. Okay, one more time. In 3, 2, 1, cheese. Perfect. Thank you to Bapak Ator, to all speakers, to our moderators and student ambassadors today.
Thank you, thank you.
Yes. And to everyone, now everyone here, you could turn on your camera, please. We'll have how many slides, IT team? 3 slides. Okay. You ready? The first slide. In 3, 2, 1, say cheese. Perfect. The second slide. 3, 2, 1, give your brightest smile. Okay, and the last one. In 3, 2, 1, say cheese. Okay, all good? Everything's okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Okay, to our respected moderators, speakers, and student ambassadors, we are honored to have you today. And to all participants and audience, thank you for your excitement and participations on today's event. Please be informed that certificate of your participation will be sent to your registered email according to your attendance, and link will be shared in the chat box. And hopefully this event will be beneficial and insightful. And on behalf of Smart Green Campaign 2021 committee, we would like to extend gratitude for your kind participations and supports. Thank you for your great contribution to this event, and we are inviting you to join eSmart Green platform in the Smart Green Campaign 2022 next year. So thank you and see you again in the next event.
Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you all.
Recording stopped.